Good morning, everyone. Welcome to This Is Reviewable.
Or good afternoon.
Did that remind you of your, kindergarten teacher? Good morning, class. Time to stand and say the Pledge of Allegiance.
I don't remember my kindergarten teacher.
Well, I mean, any young grade school. First, second, third, fourth, fifth. None of them? Okay. Anyways, welcome to This Is Reviewable. We watched another movie. Another new movie. This is our third week in a row now where we've talked about a brand new movie in 2024. So that's pretty cool. Which one was it this week, though?
We watched Fall Guy with Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt. What was it about, Braden?
Yeah, it's about this guy whose favorite season is autumn, and he's just really, really into it, so they call him Fall Guy.
What's his favorite part of it?
He likes the leaves. He likes making big piles of leaves and jumping into them and then taking little poops inside the piles and then leaving all stealth-like so that the next person that jumps into the pile of leaves, they jump into his poop also. This really got off rails quick, huh?
Okay, so Fall Guy is about... What's his name in the movie? Ryan Gosling.
I think his name is Ryan Gosling in the movie.
No, it's...
I'll look it up. Hang on.
Colt Stevers.
Colt Stevers? How'd you know that off the top of your head?
I just thought of it.
Colt Severs.
Stevers.
Yeah.
Okay, so Colt, Ryan Gosling, is a stuntman.
Mm-hmm.
And he, at the beginning of the movie, is in a little fling with... The beginnings of a relationship.
A camera operator.
Operator.
Named Jody.
Jody, who's played by Emily Blunt.
Yeah.
And at the beginning of the movie, Ryan Gosling gets into an accident doing a stunt. And he breaks his back. And he leaves the stunt world. What do they call them? Stunties?
Stuntmen?
No, stunties?
What are you talking about?
They have a nickname for them.
For people that do stunts?
Yeah.
Stuntmen.
No, they have a nickname that they call them. Because remember when Ryan Gosling takes that car and the guy's like, be careful with it. It's only one of two. You stunties.
Stuntmen.
No, always... I can't remember what he called them.
Stunt bitches. That's it, right?
No. Ryan Gosling breaks his back. He leaves the movie world. He does valet parking for a while until he gets a call from this actor's producer, the actor that he always works with or constantly works with, and his name is
Tom Ryder. He gets roped back into the stunt world because Jody is a director, and it's been 1.5 years since they talked because he kind of just went all space cadet after his injury. And then he gets a call from a producer who's played by Hannah Waddingham. She's Rebecca from Ted Lasso. And she convinces him only because Jody is directing the movie that the producer wants Colt to come back for. So he comes back, and a kidnapping / disappearance is occurring with the main actor. Tom Ryder's gone missing, and the producer is trying to get Colt to help figure out where he is. And this is the movie, all the while he's trying to reignite his flame with Jody.
whom he loves.
Yes.
Who his heart burns for.
Yes. For whom he still... Is it burns in the song? Dun-it, he's going the distance.
He's going the mile.
Is it yearns or burns? For someone to pursue whom he still yearns or burns. I don't know.
Maybe it's burns.
Is it
no.
burns?
Maybe it is yearns. For whom he still burns.
This is gonna sound really stupid when we just put the clip of the song in the episode, and everybody's like, "Oh, it's this. It was this word the whole time, idiots."
I'm thinking of someone for whom he still burns.
Duh.
Yeah. All right. That's a good enough synopsis, right? Without giving away the plot too much.
You said that Colt is trying to find Tom.
Trying to find Tom. Yeah. He's not supposed to let Jodie know that Tom is missing because she's already like stressed out, and
this is her first time directing a movie.
And the production company will pull funding if Tom doesn't show up on set again, and basically the producer doesn't want to worry Jodie with all these issues, and so she's like, Colt, this is your way to win her back, save her movie. Yeah, right? Okay.
Okay, what'd you like?
What? No.
Okay, what'd you like?
I didn't like anything.
This was the worst movie you'd ever seen.
No, I wouldn't say that.
You hated it.
The worst movie I've ever seen would have a very, like a 0 like list, but it would also have a very long dislike list. That's how it's measured. It's not just based on having a 0 like list. You gotta have both of those two things for it to be the worst movie ever. I'm just kidding. I actually did like this movie. I just keep saying I don't like it because it bothers Micah a little bit. What did I like?
Who told you that?
Who told me what?
That it bothers me.
I could see it on your face every time I say it. So every time I'm getting a reaction, I'm like the kid that's throwing things at you in preschool.
My face didn't change.
Yeah, that's what you think. I wrote here, funny at times. I think it can be funny at times, for sure. We all know by now that Ryan Gosling has really good comedic timing. So, Ryan's gonna be Ryan in this movie. There is a fun scene where freaking Jodie figures out that he's the new stuntman, and she's like, okay, well, let's film the scene where we set him on fire. Let's do that. And she keeps redoing the scene as like a form of revenge for being ghosted.
Well, not only is he set on fire, but then he's thrown against a rock.
Yeah. And then she's like, so just for context, Colt, in this scene, it's about an alien who was dating a human, and then the human just left and never talked to her again, and just left her hanging, even though she really wanted to be a part of his life. What do you think this human would say to this alien to try and win her back?
And Ryan Gosling, he's like, well, having never read the script, did the alien and the human ever talk in private?
He's like, nope, no, they don't. They're very honest and open with everybody around them.
And the whole crew, all the actors and
everybody knows. It's like a very thinly veiled. Okay, that's what's going on here. That's why she keeps wanting to launch him against a rock and set him on fire. So
then she has him do the stunt, and then they jump back into talking about it, and then they do the stunt, and at some point he just looks exhausted, and he's laying against this rock, and he's like, well, I'm just going to open this up to the group. Do you think that the alien could have maybe just had a rough patch or something like that?
Yeah, it's funny. It's good stuff.
That was a really fun scene.
There's fun scenes like that in here. There's also jokes that don't land. I don't think this is like... It's not perfectly written, but it is pretty well written and, made me laugh a lot. I also put Ryan Gosling. I didn't put this, but Emily Blunt's also good.
They have good chemistry.
Yeah. I also really liked Hannah Waddingham, the Rebecca character. Yeah. I don't know why, but I liked her a lot better in this than I did in Ted Lasso for some reason.
Yeah.
She just brings this fun energy. Like, kind of like manic, very busy, has a million things that are about to crash this movie down, but she somehow has a lid on all of it. sort of vibe.
Mm-hmm.
And she's still very, very fun and positive with people around her.
Mm-hmm.
There are some really nice long shot stunts. What I mean by long shot, I think that's the correct term for it. It's the style of action where there's no cutting. It's like a long take. That's what I'm thinking of. There's some nice long take stunts. There's a fall that happens near the end of the movie that's like, they show the whole thing from the bird's eye perspective as this character is falling, and it looks really good. I like the stuff like that.
From where?
A helicopter.
Yeah.
There's some cool car chases. There's a huge jump that I think was real. Big old giant jump.
Onto the helicopter?
No, in a car. It's a ramp.
Oh yeah, it was real.
The movie was really fast-paced, but it was easy enough to follow, despite the plot being kind of convoluted.
What did you think was convoluted about it?
We can get into that in spoiler section.
Okay. Write a note.
There was a joke also that I really liked about... It's when Hannah Waddingham's character is talking with Colt, because Colt realizes Jodie doesn't really want him there. And he's like, I'm just going to leave. She doesn't want me here. And Hannah Waddingham's giving him a pep talk, basically. And he's like, and she says, what's the lesson in all of my movies? And Ryan Gosling's like, nihilism is a viable worldview. She's like, no, that's not the real message. That's just like the sexy bacon that I wrap the meat in. You know, the studio wants to have that. It wants to have the sexy bacon to attract the younger audiences. I just liked the idea that nihilism is the sexy bacon. And it was just funny. They're just poking fun. And I liked that. A couple of these other things I think are more spoilery than not. So, what did you like about it?
I just thought this was a fun movie.
Can you elaborate, please?
What else do I need to say?
I mean, a little bit of what specifically you liked about it would be nice.
It was fun.
Yeah, I know. We got that. What specifically was fun?
Okay, well, I guess what I liked... You didn't like this part, but there's a part where Ryan Gosling is sad that him and Jodie are not together, even though it's his fault. And
Wait, I did like this part in the end.
And he gets into the car, and Taylor Swift starts playing, and it's one of, like, her old songs, like, from when she was young. Like, one of her first albums or something. And it starts singing, and he's, like, in his feels, and he starts crying.
Well, and it's, like, flashing back to all his memories of them being together.
And, like, super happy.
Yeah.
And he's just tears coming down his face. And then Emily Blunt knocks on the window, and she's like, "Are you crying?"
Were you listening to Taylor Swift?
And crying, and he's like, "No." I just thought it was funny, because I think he's a girl dad also, Ryan Gosling.
A girl dad? What does that mean?
Chase is a girl dad.
Oh, you mean like in real life?
In real life.
Okay.
So I just thought it was fun. I just could imagine Ryan Gosling with, like, his kids listening to Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
In that moment.
Yeah.
I just liked how this movie, it felt like it didn't take itself too seriously.
It definitely doesn't do that.
And I like movies like that. I like just watching a fun movie that doesn't take itself too seriously. I don't have to think that hard. And it makes me laugh.
Mm-hmm.
And Ryan Gosling is in it.
That's all you need.
That's all I need. It's not that hard.
Criteria A, doesn't take itself too seriously. Criteria B, having fun. Criteria C, Ryan Gosling. And D, makes you laugh.
I don't have to think too hard.
And you don't... Oh, okay. Yeah, E. Don't have to think too hard.
Yeah. It's not that hard.
That's the recipe.
Yeah.
So if you want a good review from Micah, just make sure all that stuff's in your movie. Right, Micah?
Yeah.
Okay, well, did you like it better than Argyle?
Yeah.
Did you like it better than the Ministry of Ungentlemanly
Yeah.
Warfare? Okay. Alright. Do you have anything else you liked about it?
I'm sure I'll think of something.
Okay. You want me to say what I didn't like about it?
Yeah.
Jokes that felt like they were supposed to be jokes that did not land. And I say that, I don't know. Yeah, you know what? I guess, like, it's easy to tell that a joke was supposed to be a joke in most cases. In some of these cases, it's like Ryan Gosling doing his really big, loud voice and, like, going really big, and it's supposed to be a joke, and you can tell it's supposed to be funny. And then there were a couple of those moments where it just didn't work for me at all. And so it just left me with this sort of, like, awkward feeling. And then, oh, yeah, this is a big bummer, because there's a ton of stunts in this, and this is directed by a former stuntman, David Leitch, who helped with some of the John Wick movies, and he also made Bullet Train and this one. And it's supposed to be like a love letter to the underappreciated stuntmen in the industry. And a lot of these stunts they really did, and they show like footage of them filming all these stunts in the credits of the movie. But when you're watching the final cut of the movie, they cut it in such a way that makes the stunts look faker than they actually were. In some cases, not in all cases, but in some cases. Like, apparently they set the record for flipping a car in this movie. Remember that scene on the beach at the beginning?
Mm-hmm.
They actually flipped it that many times.
Oh, 8 times.
Or whatever it was. But why didn't they just show the flip, like, zoom out and show the thing happening?
Mm-hmm.
Just show it flip. Don't keep cutting to all these, because, like, it's the cuts that kind of make it look not real.
You think so?
Yeah. I think that if you're not showing the 8 flips from one angle, showing, like, flips 1 through 3 from one angle, and then flips 4 through 6 from another angle, and then flips 7 through 8 from another angle, you could have just flipped a car 3 times, is what I'm saying. And the audience wouldn't know the difference. But if you show flips like 1 through 6 from one camera angle, and then you want to change the angle and show the last 2, then it looks way more real. Because you can't really fake flipping a car 6 times from one camera angle. Like, you wouldn't be able to cut 2 different car flips and put them in the same camera angle and have that look convincing. So, like, you did the stunt, so show it off, I feel like. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Do you think that stuntmen are gonna get more recognition after this movie?
I hope so.
And, like, awards?
That's crazy that they don't win awards.
Yeah. I don't understand why they don't.
That's like, if costume design gets awards, why does...
They do?
Why does stunt choreography not win awards? Maybe choreography does, but, like, the performances don't. I guess I'm unclear about, because they mention that in the movie at some point, that stuntmen don't win awards.
Yeah, I don't get why.
They
do such dangerous work.
Is there an Oscar for stunt choreography? Nope. There's no Oscar category for stunt work or stunt choreography. That's absolutely insane.
It's just rude.
Yeah.
That, they're quote-unquote doing, like, manual labor, physical work, whatever, and it just feels rude. They're doing the hard stuff. They're doing the cool things, and they don't get any recognition for it.
All I know is, like, typically, the really amazing experiences that I have at movies have to do with something that's like visually just incredible. So, it, you know, like a John Wick or a Fury Road or a...
But you're talking about action. You're not talking about, like,
But the
cinematography.
That it's cinematography mixed with what they did, like the stunts, or like Top Gun Maverick. Like, the amount of work that it took to make those scenes look the way that they look.
You're talking about that one beach scene with Miles Teller?
Yeah, that scene. No, the freaking them flying through the canyon. You know what I'm talking about. That scene,
you didn't think that was funny?
Yeah, it was pretty funny. That scene looked so good, and
Yeah.
like you're in the theater and you're like, oh my gosh.
Are you talking
how
about the
did
part
they
where
do that?
Tom Cruise jumps out of the window? Or he throws his coat out of the window?
And you think that his body just smacked the pavement?
Yeah.
Like the idea that so much work and money and time and planning went into that, and then the stunt performances themselves, and there's not even a category for choreography, is so stupid. What is John Wick without the stunt choreography?
Nothing.
What is Top Gun Maverick?
It's just Keanu Reeves running weird.
Yes. What is Mad Max without the stunt choreography?
It's just cars driving with no flips.
And like it's not
It's a guy with a guitar, actually.
What is Mission Impossible? What is James Bond?
Well, Mission Impossible would still be Mission Impossible.
Why?
Because Tom Cruise does his own stunts.
Yeah, but he's not getting nominated
For stunts?
for anything. Yeah, he's not gonna win Best Actor or anything. And then what else is there to win? Because apparently there's no category for stunt work. And
Well, I'm just saying it would be the same. The other ones, you know, Fury Road would just be a guy with a double guitar.
Pretty cool. Best song. And it's not like stunt work is a new thing, because Buster Keaton has been hanging off of buildings as early as freaking the 1920s. So how...
Who the heck is Buster Keaton?
Old actor. He's sort of like considered the first stuntman, but he was also an actor. He did all his own stuff. He did a lot of really dangerous stuff. Why have we not wised up about making a category at the Oscars? I don't know. Anyway, that was a rant.
I watched a video the other day of Glenn Powell.
Yeah.
And he's Iceman, or Hangman from...
Yeah.
I know, I'm saying it for the crowd.
Oh.
Hangman from Top Gun Maverick. And
From Pirates of the Caribbean 3, he's the hangman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was unclear of the timeline, but Tom Cruise taught him, like, gave him lessons to be a pilot. I think he got his pilot's license. From
Tom Cruise is qualified to do that?
Or something, I don't know.
To be an instructor?
Something, I don't know. He said it was so cool to work on that movie because Tom Cruise would fly his plane onto set every single day.
That's so crazy.
Okay, what else didn't you like from this movie? Nothing else. You loved it.
The rest is spoilery.
Okay.
So
you want to rate it?
Yeah, let's rate it. You go.
Okay. I rate this an 8. Guns loaded with blanks.
Okay. I'm gonna give this a 7.5 Jason Momoa recasts out of 10. Let me go back.
Okay, spoilers.
Yeah, we're in spoiler now. And I guess I kind of just ruined one of my spoiler things. The main actor, Tom Ryder, turns out that he's committed a murder, and by accident, a manslaughter. He's committed a manslaughter of his current stuntman, and producer Waddingham gets the brilliant idea to frame Ryan Gosling as the guy who killed the stuntman in a very contrived set of circumstances. They're gonna bring him to Australia. They're gonna scan his face so that they can deep fake him in the video, because this is what I meant about it being convoluted. Tom Ryder like kicks his stuntman at a party, and somebody's filming it, and then the stuntman breaks his neck. And Hannah Waddingham's plan is to scan Ryan Gosling's face, I guess, have him be in Australia for a couple of days just to prove that he was there, and then deep fake his face into the video to prove that he killed the stuntman, and then they're gonna stage a suicide for Ryan Gosling, and this is somehow gonna make sense.
Yeah, what doesn't make sense?
Because Ryan Gosling hasn't been working as a stuntman for over a year and a half. He hasn't been in the industry
but it's
at all.
Jodie's movie.
He didn't know the other stuntman, so why was he at a party with this other stuntman, and why...
Are you saying that you think everybody at the party knew each other?
Why did they have such beef? Why was he kicking the stuntman? I just think that this is... Like, this whole frame setup job that they were doing has so many suspicious circumstances that I feel like they might get away with it at the beginning. But what about when someone figures out that the video is deep-faked? Because there are ways to figure that out. And then people start asking questions like, this doesn't really add up.
Oh my gosh, we forgot to talk about how Ryan Gosling, or how Colt Seavers was on drugs.
Yeah, Colt Seavers was on drugs.
It was funny.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Okay, anyway, sorry.
Anyway, they have to recast Tom Ryder at the end because he killed somebody.
He's like actually a psychopath.
Yeah, and tried to cover it up. So they have to recast, and they end up recasting him with Jason Momoa, and it's like they make like some kind of joke about it at the beginning of the movie or in the middle of the movie about recasting as Jason Momoa, and then they actually do it. And the trailer is just the stupidest looking thing ever. But it's so funny. I loved that trailer that they did with Jason Momoa at the end. And then, yeah, that was one of my dislikes, how convoluted their plan was to try and frame Ryan Gosling. And why him? Why not just some other random stunt guy?
I don't know.
Also, the way that they get the confession out of Tom Ryder is so contrived.
Yeah.
Like,
I didn't actually really like that part.
I'm not buying that, like, at all. Basically, their plan is to freak him out in an actual stunt car with Ryan Gosling, who he thinks is dead by this point. And Ryan Gosling's job is to badger him until he admits that he killed the stuntman and they tried to frame Ryan Gosling. But if you're Tom Ryder and you think that you killed Ryan Gosling and then he shows up and he's driving you around in a car, why would you not immediately suspect that they're trying to frame you?
Well, and couldn't they say that they got that confession under duress?
Yes.
And he was
entrapment. Yeah.
Although, does entrapment work if you're a civilian?
I think so. Yeah, I think that it taints the evidence. Yeah, I don't know. Like that, I wasn't buying that at all. That was my last note, though, about what I didn't like. Besides these other notes I have.
What do they say?
It's like half the page. You want to know what they say now? Or do you want to chime in?
Go for it.
I think at the end of the day, I'm just kind of disappointed that this movie isn't the stunt extravaganza that I was maybe hoping for. Because with some other movies that have incredible stunt work and incredible action sequences, I will go back on YouTube when I think about one of these scenes, and I'll like type in the scene because I want to watch it again because it was so cool. And I wrote a list of some of these scenes that I've looked up in the past.
That's such a boy thing.
What?
What you just said.
Not really. It's a movie fan thing.
I feel like that's such like a boy action thing. These are the sickest action scenes I've ever seen.
yeah, but it's true. And like
I'm just saying.
When I think of them, I want to watch them again because they were so impressive. Like do you remember the bathroom fight from Mission Impossible, the one with Henry Cavill? Where they're having a fight with that Asian dude in the bathroom and they're getting their asses handed to them.
Yeah.
Henry Cavill and Tom Cruise.
Mm-hmm.
That's one that I watch sometimes when I think about it. Or like the airplane, jumping out of the airplane, or the storm scene from Fury Road, or the knife fight from John Wick 3, or the rotating hallway fight in Inception. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, of course.
Yeah. Like, those are so impressive and so cool, and there's just not really anything like that in this movie. And this is supposed to be the love letter to stuntmen movie that, I don't know, I was a little bit disappointed by that. But a lot of the stuff does look cool, even if not, like, special. So I still think it's worth watching. That was my last note, actually.
Wait, there was a part that I liked that's spoilery.
Okay.
When Ryan Gosling, right before he fakes his death, and he calls Emily Blunt, and he's like, "What did you sing?" And she's like, "Where are you?" And she's like freaking out.
Yeah.
He's like, "What did you sing at karaoke?" I thought that was like a sweet moment.
Yeah.
Where she's like, "You're gonna die," and he's like, "I still care about the little things."
And he's like, "No one really dies, babe." And then he spray paints his face chrome and he yells Valhalla.
I just thought that was sweet.
Yeah. His character is a very nice man.
Yeah, Jean-Claude.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Jean-Claude.
I forgot Jean-Claude.
He's great.
He's this dog that only speaks Dutch?
French. But he speaks perfect French.
Yeah.
Well, doesn't speak it, but he understands it perfectly.
Because at some point, this girl is trying to stop a truck, and her water bottle is stuck under there, and Ryan Gosling is like, in French, "Jean-Claude, what are you doing? Get the water bottle."
It's stuck under the brake pedal, so that she can't push the brake pedal down.
And after he says that, Jean-Claude like grabs the water bottle and like then they can stop.
He's just like giving him commands that there's no way that he knew.
He was taught them.
Yeah.
Well, he was in a movie. He's an actor dog.
You're telling, but like, Jean-Claude just knows what to do all the time.
He's a good boy.
He's giving him advanced commands, and Jean-Claude just knows. But Jean-Claude is the most intelligent dog on the planet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I like Jean-Claude.
Okay. Anything else?
No, that was it.
Okay. What'd you watch?
I read a book.
What?
Yeah, you like that?
Is this the first one of a year?
No. This is like number 5, I think. But it's about... So, this is going to be nerdy, okay? But I don't want you to get mad at me. I don't want you to make fun of me.
What is it?
It's called Soccer Tough.
Oh my gosh, how many soccer books are you gonna read?
This is the 3rd one.
Did they spell it Tuff?
No.
Okay, good.
But this is like a sports psychology book. This is something that I've always kind of been interested in, but I never actually dipped my toe in. It's basically just like the guy that wrote this is a sports psychologist. He got a degree in psychology from somewhere, was a professional golfer, and then went and got his PhD. And he's worked with a lot of professional athletes that have, like, mental issues, confidence issues, like...
Would you say impotence?
Yeah, impotence in their sport. That's a good way to say it, because potence just means, like, power.
Thanks.
To have a lack of power in their sport.
Thanks.
And it was interesting, and I think a lot of what he says is probably transferable to any other sport that you might be playing. A lot of stuff
What about life?
I never would have thought of that stuff. Yeah, probably. I mean, one thing that he focused on was, well, he cited a lot of like research that had been done, people that conceptualize doing something versus people that actually practice doing it. Mm-hmm. The same parts of your brain light up as you conceptualize doing the thing. If you're doing a really good job of, you know, imagine, he gives the example of like throwing darts at a dartboard. Like, feel the dart in your hand. Feel the weight of it as you lift your hand up. Feel the weight of it and the release of it when you throw it. Watch it sail through the air. Watch it hit the target. Like, if you're conceptualizing in a really detailed and specific way, the same areas of your brain are being trained as if you actually were practicing. And so he was like, so if you married the practice with the conceptualization, you'll become a much more like focused and effective athlete. And then just like stuff, like other stuff that I just never would have thought of before. One thing I thought was kind of interesting was with one player that was really struggling with form, he was like, what kind of animal do you think you are? Like, if you imagine your perfect game, what kind of animal do you think you would compare yourself to? And he was like, a greyhound. He's like, okay, so next time when you're on the field and you feel like you're not being effective and you're not chasing down a defender, or you're not getting open for a run, or you're not running as fast, tell yourself you're a greyhound. And the guy like wrote it on his hand, and in his very first game trying out this strategy, he scored within like the first 30 seconds of the game. So I thought that was kind of cool. Just like little tricks that you can trick your brain into basically just focusing on positive things instead of negative things, and it makes a really big difference. So I thought it was interesting. Thought it was pretty good. I'll probably read it again because it'll be something that you can go back and get nuggets from if you're interested in this kind of thing. I guess I'll give it an 8. I'll give it an 8/8 out of 10 possible 8s. Yeah.
Well, so what are you gonna do? How is that gonna help your soccer?
Oh, I wrote down some of the little experiments that he said to do. I did my own little things, so I'll try to implement those as time goes on.
Will you keep us updated?
Sure. Yeah, I'll let you know if it's working.
Okay, thanks.
I'm already so good, though. It's just... at this point, what's going to make me better? I'm basically as good as I could be.
Okay. Are you done?
Yeah.
Okay, I read this book by Hannah Witten, For the Wolf. It's kind of like a Little Red Riding Hood and the Big Bad Wolf and Beauty and the Beast, kind of. So it's fantasy, and pretty much they live in this world where every second daughter of the royal family has to go into this magic forest. It's called the Wilder Wood, and they have to go live with the wolf, and they're basically like a sacrifice to the wood. And this girl is the second daughter. Her name is Rodaris, but people call her Red. And on her 20th birthday, she has to go into the wood. Long story short, this book was not great. It was not written very well.
Yeah, it sounds kind of...
The story was not super engaging. I thought it was boring.
How many dark reimaginings of Red Riding Hood and Snow White do we need before we say enough?
Enough, damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It also has like one of those dumb love stories where like
people kiss.
Yeah, they kiss, but
ones.
also
They
you
hold
know,
hands.
she's like afraid of him at the beginning because he's a wolf, even though like he mostly looks human, but she's like, he's almost human, but he's not fully human. But she doesn't like him because this is like her Well, she's, like, stuck with him, whatever. And then, like, at some point during the book, she's been there for, like, 2 weeks, and she's like, and I was going to go and do this thing that I normally do, but it's become habit to not do it. Like, bish, like, it's been 2 weeks. Like, this is not a habit that whatever. And then she's like, and I hate him, and I can't stand the look of him. And then, like, the next chapter, she's like, but I must be around him, and, like, I can't live without him, and, like, I could escape, but I always need to be around him. Like, what? It was just not very well written, I would say.
Yeah.
So I'm not recommending this book.
You don't know how she got from I hate him to I can't not be around him.
Yeah. I don't really like that type of love story anyways.
The toxic love story?
Yeah. It's just...
The, what's that called? The something syndrome?
Stockholm
Syndrome. You don't like the Stockholm Syndrome love story?
No. And I kind of feel like...
You heard it here first. Micah hates Stockholm, Sweden. She hates all of Sweden.
I also felt like they kind of glorified self-harm in this because to, like, the Wilder Wood is sick or something because it's, like, a magical entity. And the wolf has to, like, give blood. Everybody has to give blood to this wood. And so he's, like, constantly cutting himself. And then she has to. And I just felt like they were, like, glorifying self-harm. And I did not. I will never be okay with that.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to rate this book a 2.
It's pretty low.
Twin sisters out of 10.
Does it get your piece of shit stamp of approval?
Yeah.
Nice.
The little duty.
Should that be a new thing? Should we have someone design something? This gets the piece of shit stamp of approval. And it's like you frowning with your thumbs down. Do you remember that part in Seinfeld where Jerry's talking to Elaine about a date that he had, and he was like, so we went back to my place and we had, and Elaine's like, milk? He's like, no. Cookies?
That's funny.
You're reminding me of that with your, your love story with the kissing and the holding hands.
That's funny. Okay. You have anything?
No. Next week is going to be Hitman, the new Netflix movie. What are you doing for next week?
I'll probably have a book. But it's a secret.
Oh. Okay. I'm probably going to finish watching the first Mad Max. I decided I probably should go ahead and watch the whole series. I swear I'm not obsessed, but I'm reading a book about the production of Mad Max Fury Road.
Oh, okay. I thought it was going to be about soccer.
Oh, no. It's just timely, because, like, we just watched Furiosa,
Well, yeah.
and now I'm catching up on the rest of the series. And I'd always heard about this book, and I started listening to it, and it's very interesting. It's crazy that such a book exists. It's one movie, and it's a freaking 10-hour book. It's not a small book. It's substantial. Anyway.
Yeah, okay. Okay, bye, everybody. Have a good week.